Developing tonight, two former DCFS workers are on trial in connection with the death of 5-year-old AJ Friend.
Prosecutors say they neglected signs of abuse and failed to see the Crystal Lake boy had been in an unsafe home before his parents killed him in April of 2019. WGN's Dana Rebick joining us now with details of the first day of the trial. Dana.
Well, both of these caseworkers are charged with endangering the life of a child as well as reckless conduct, meaning they knew AJ Friend's life could be at risk if he stayed with his parents. The state arguing these workers had an inhumane indifference to the boy's safety, which led to his death.
DCFS works if employees merely care to follow the rules. It does not work when employees view their job as filling out paperwork as quickly as possible in order to close cases with the least amount of work or hassle to them.
Opening statements from the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office, as well as the defense attorneys for both Carlos Acosta and Andrew Polovin, the DCFS caseworker and manager who became involved with the AJ Friend case back in 2018.
What those witnesses have to offer you, Monday morning quarterbacking, Judge, with an overdose of hindsight and an extra dose of speculation.
In December of 2018, Joanne Cunningham, AJ Friend's mother, called Crystal Lake police to report her boyfriend had stolen medication. On the stand, an officer described the conditions in the boy's home, which included dog urine and feces throughout and a bruise she saw on him.
I saw a horrific bruise on his side that literally took my breath away. It was shocking to me to see that kind of a bruise on this child.
Officer Shipbaugh contacted DCFS and investigator Carlos Acosta came to the police station, then allowed Joanne Cunningham to leave with her children as long as she had a doctor examine the bruise.
What was your reaction to that?
I was not pleased. I told him there's no way that we could release these boys to her not knowing how this injury occurred.
I asked if he had been hit or spanked before. He said yes. I had asked with what, and he said a belt. I asked him if that was what made the mark, and he said yes. I asked who did it, and he said someone not in my family. And then he volunteered that maybe mommy didn't mean to hurt me.
That doctor testified she was not a specialist in child abuse and requested DCFS follow up with a forensic exam, but that never happened. A retired DCFS supervisor with more than 30 years experience who was not involved in AJ's case testified that Acosta and Polovin didn't request any past police reports for Joanne Cunningham, which included arrests for battery and theft, or run a criminal background check on her boyfriend Daniel Nowicki or Andrew Friend. The DCFS supervisor noting domestic violence and substance abuse are often risk factors for child abuse.
AJ's abandoned into the hands of his killer, Cunningham. Over the next 3.5 months, she beats him, tortures him, imprisons him.
And ultimately, AJ Friend was murdered in April 2019, his mother beating him with a shower head and his father burying him in Woodstock. After that visit to the emergency room, the DCFS workers closed this case within 2 weeks, saying that the allegation of abuse was unfounded. The two DCF workers were fired after an internal investigation. Now, this trial, we're told, it's a bench trial, is expected to last through the week.
Hard to hear all this all over again. We all heard it in 2019, but my goodness.
It is.
All right. Thank you, Dana.